Hi, this is Ella. I was going to make another video, and I am going to make another video, discussing some of my experiences in residential treatment facilities. Before I do that, I would like to say thank you so much for all the support that I've gotten just from the first video. It was really amazing. And thank you to all the survivors who have shared their stories before mine and given me support and given me the courage to stand up and not be afraid to speak out. You guys make a lot of difference, and we're fighting to help other kids so that they don't have to come out of this and recover from treatment. Um, Also, I have a couple of things to say before I start talking about my experiences. I don't blame my parents for what happened in these facilities, and I just want to make that very, very clear. They were told that I was going to come out and, like, they lost their daughter. I was hurting myself at home. I was in the hospital for self-harm and suicide attempts like every other week, and they didn't know what else to do. They didn't want to watch their daughter die. They wanted to get me help, and they did what they thought was best, and they were told that I would get help and that I would come back and be the kid I used to be, and they had no idea what was going on. They were tricked. And also, I would like to apologize. I owe a lot of people apologies. Sorry, I'm reading this. I prepared a statement because I get nervous and then I don't know what to say. So that's where my eyes are going. But I am just going to read this. I'd like to apologize. I don't know if these people are open to hearing them. If you'll know if I need to apologize to you. I just want to say I'm sorry for hurting you. I became aggressive and I lashed out violently towards people, and it was out of fear for the most part. That doesn't make it okay. To any of my peers that were harmed emotionally or physically, I will always regret my actions. I spend a lot of time thinking about what I could have done differently. I don't want to be the reason somebody has PTSD, right? During treatment, a lot of peers lashed out at me as well. For example, some people would tell me to go kill myself, stuff like that. The words still hurt. The pain from that didn't go away, but I know you were hurting too. We were all hurting. I don't hold any anger or resentment towards you. We were all kids. We were being hurt. So please don't hold on to that, and I wouldn't want people to think that I'm the same person right now that I was then. We were in very different, very traumatic situations. And finally, these videos are probably going to be pretty upsetting. They're going to be talking about some difficult situations. I'm sharing this because I want to help people who are either considering sending their kid to one of these programs or who have come out of these programs and don't have anybody to talk to about it, and they just feel really alone. You know, I don't want anyone to feel alone. Please spread awareness about these troubled teen, the troubled teen industry, by speaking up in support of survivors and sharing the hashtag Breaking Code Silence. We won't be quiet and we won't be alone. We will all stand together. Okay. Now, my lovely girlfriend is going to ask me some questions about Sunrise, which is the first place I was at. Okay.
So first off, how did you wind up at Sunrise? How did you get there?
Oh God, this is going to be a long video. Okay. So, well, first of all, the time I was at Sunrise for 7 months, from December 6th, 2014 to July 3rd, 2015. Yeah. And I was in the hospital in my town, and they had told my parents, like, she can't just keep coming back here, you know, like, you got to send her somewhere longer to get more help and not just, you know, holding her until she's stable. So, yeah, my mom came in like 2 days before, and she's like, yeah, so we're going to send you to a place for a long time. And I was like, oh, that sounds vaguely scary. And then somebody came a couple days later at like 6 in the morning, and it was this like really nice lady, and she was a transporter, and she was just like kind of like a older aunt kind of figure, and yeah, I ended up falling asleep on her shoulder at one point, and she got me cake, so she was good. She really helped um the situation because I was really nervous. And I'm really thankful for her.
How long do people usually stay at a treatment center like Sunrise?
Sunrise, I think the average stay at Sunrise is about a year. The fastest I'd ever heard of anybody getting through the program was in 7 months, but that was really fast.
How long were you there?
7 months, yeah, but I definitely did not finish the program. Nope.
Speed runner.
Nope, I failed. Yep.
How do they help each kid individually? Because I assume you're all going there for different reasons.
We are, and that's part of the thing. These programs are like they advertise that they will help your kid, but we all have different issues, and the program itself is kind of like a one-size-fits-all mentality. So you have like everything's pretty much the same for everybody, but then once a week you'll have like your specific treatment goal, which is like, I'll stab myself less, and then you try to do that, but that's about as tailored as it gets with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So with that, how did you do school while you were at Sunrise, the time you were there?
At Sunrise, okay, so we had kids. I think the youngest kid there was 13, and the oldest had just turned 18. So they have a separate building at that we would drive to, and we'd have different teachers for different subjects, but the teacher would be trying to teach like what's 13, the 8th grade through senior year all at once. So there wasn't a whole lot of guidance with that, and realistically, you couldn't expect a teacher to try to teach 12 different grades at one time in one place. So there really wasn't much guidance, and I didn't learn anything.
So teachers were taught from like 8th to 12th grade. How many kids were there?
Well, Sunrise has 2 campuses, so we both went to school at that campus. So on my campus, I lived with about 30 other girls, and then I was at the Hurricane campus. The Fields campus had about the same amount of kids, so at the school at once it was like 60 kids.
Mm-hmm. What were the other kids like there? Did you make any pen pals, any friends?
I am in contact with some people from Facebook, but not that many. We all needed a lot of help. And as I'm sure you could imagine, putting 30 mentally ill teenagers in a house together would be an unethical reality TV show and not very productive. A lot of clashing personalities and people who don't know how to use coping skills, myself included at the time. It was we were interesting.
So I assume when you go to a facility like Sunrise, there are certain freedoms that you give up when you enter there. What were some of the freedoms that you kind of took for granted before you came into Sunrise?
Okay, so every program has weird different rules, and so some of the generic freedoms that you lose when you go into a treatment center are like the ability to pee without somebody staring at you, and sleep, because they have people with flashlights walking in and shining the light on you.
Like at all hours of the night?
Every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes?
Yeah, and they like shine it in your eyes, to make sure that you're there.
Same.
And you can't roll over or have your covers go like to here. If you have your covers go to here, like you can have it go to here, but if you have it go to here, they'll wake you up and be like, pull the covers down. What are you hiding? And I'm like, I'm trying to sleep.
Inches.
Yeah. It's weird because they didn't have trouble like bruising us, but they did have trouble pulling the sheets down 2 inches to fit whatever rule that was. But
So who took care of the students while they were staying there?
Okay, well, for everyone watching, I am 22 now, and I am qualified to look after mentally ill teenagers, according to like well, okay, according to their website and according to like what I know about staff, most of the people who are looking after us on so we had therapists, but we saw therapists like a couple times a week for like 30 minutes, and then teachers, but they weren't watching us. The staff were like 23, 22. They require you to have a driver's license, and it's preferable if you've worked at like a camp before. That's it. So it was people like my age that were not at all qualified to look after kids, and they had no training and just not. I wouldn't recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, within a facility like Sunrise, there would be instances where a fight would, happen. What would the staff do to restrain the kid, or like what led up to a kid being restrained?
Well, fights actually don't happen very often. Restraints, you'd think that's what would lead up to a restraint.
Yeah.
No, most of my restraints, I would get restrained like several times a day, mostly for crying.
That's insane.
Yeah, a little bit. And like what they do is they tackle you to the ground. So and they call it a hold, I think. Yeah, so like if I were sitting on my bed, they wouldn't like if I were crying, they'd be like, "Gotta put her in a hold. She's like a threat," Or if they'd be like, "Stop crying," and I didn't stop crying because I was having emotions. They'd say that I was like being directly disobedient or like trying to cause problems. So they'd like grab me and then like throw me on the ground and then sit on me.
Mm-hmm.
Which
seems pretty extreme given this situation.
It does. Like that kind of, it was excessive.
Yeah.
I like 99% of the times I was restrained. I feel like it would have been a much better route if somebody had just come and talked to me and been like, "Hey, what's up? Like, what's wrong? Like, let's talk about it."
De-escalate.
Yeah. Well, the point isn't de-escalation. A lot of the people who jump with restraints like that, they like it. They like restraining kids, and they like tackling us to the ground. And people who aren't like in the room at the time, they'll offer to like jump in and help, and they'll be like, "You take a break. I got this one." Like it's like, I don't know. It seems a little like, I don't know. You can tell too. Sometimes it's kind of gross.
So I hear about this infamous Brad group.
Oh God.
What's Brad group?
Yeah. Wish I didn't know. Okay. So we had therapy, like a therapy group, every day, Monday through Friday. And okay, it's been like 5 years, but if I remember correctly, Monday was DBT group, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, and you learn different skills specific towards that therapy. Marshall Linehan created it. I know that. And so that's a very specific topic. Tuesday, I think we had recreational therapy, which is like you go out and like you go rock climbing or like you do something like hands-on therapy, Wednesday was Brad group. Get to that in a second. Thursday was, you know what? I don't remember what Thursday was, so let's go back to Brad group. Basically, my point there is all the names of the therapy were like whatever it was, like DBT, recreational, art. Like Brad group was attack therapy, but they didn't want to call it attack therapy because that doesn't sound very therapeutic. So Brad was he still is a therapist there. I don't like him, and let it be known that I do not like him. So what would happen is they'd pull out all the chairs like in a circle, and Brad would be like, "Okay, now in the house like this week, this one girl has been causing problems," and it was me a lot. Like I felt like it was disproportionately me, but that's probably just because of my memory. I just remember being really glad on the weeks it wasn't me. But at one point, he picked me every week for over a month to try to like break me or something. And so what would happen is he would have everybody in a circle, and then everybody would be encouraged to give me criticism and like sometimes he would have me like put my hands behind my back to be more vulnerable, so like I couldn't like block myself off anyway, just to feel like safer. So basically, like you sit like this, and people are like you're such a waste of space, and nobody likes you, and they just wish you would kill yourself already. You keep trying, like why aren't you successful? It's because you want attention, and you just sit there, and if you cry, like if you make a noise while you cry, like that's like not being receptive, you know. So like you're not allowed to say like, hey, stop that, but you're not even allowed to like make a noise when you cry. So you're just sitting there silently crying, and you aren't allowed to give anybody a tissue either. um yeah, so like if it wasn't me that week and somebody was crying and I felt really bad, you know, and it's like sad, and you feel bad for them, so you try to hand them a tissue, like I'd get in trouble and then I'd get yelled at. So yeah, so one time during Brad group, I said, F this, and I got up and left. That didn't go well.
What
Yeah.
did they do?
Well, they talked about me while I was being tackled to the ground. I didn't get very far. I wasn't really trying to. I was just trying to like get out of the situation. And so that then he was like, "Look, this is what she's doing for attention. Like everybody pay attention to her because she wants this so badly." And he would just like mock me while I was like on the ground. Um, yeah, he was really into like restraining kids. Like like sometimes like their pants would even fall down, and he wouldn't let us like pull our pants up. And he'd be like, just sit with it and deal with it, and like you should be humiliated.
That's awful.
Yeah, he's a terrible person. I don't like him.
Well, if you could say one thing to the staff at Sunrise, what would you say?
Quit.
Quit?
Yeah, they should quit. There were a lot of good staff there who really wanted to help kids, you know. But either they did quit or they knew there was something going on that wasn't really okay, and they were complicit in it and they watched it happen. And if I'm laying there on the ground with 40 plus bruises on my body, on my neck, just everywhere, and you want to help me, but you feel like you can't, like there's something wrong there. Like get out. That's not helping the kid. It's like puppy mills, you know? Or like you want to adopt the puppies because like those poor puppies that are born in like puppy mills, and like it's really sad, and the parents are treated really badly in puppy mills and stuff. But by adopting puppies from puppy mills, you're feeding into you're perpetuating the system. So you might want to help kids, you know, and be like the good staff there, and you could be a good staff there, but you're still perpetuating the system. Like it's not going to end. So yeah, it's a difficult situation, but I'll just wrap up a little bit. Sorry, this video is so long.
So why are you speaking out about this now?
Oh, I am speaking out because this is still happening right now. Right now is New Year's Eve, and I'm lucky because look, with my girlfriend. I'm lucky because I have her, and I'm lucky because I'm out, and because it's not my future, it's my past. But I remember 2014 to 2015, that year. I remember specifically New Year's Eve, and I remember laying in the bed in the safety room, and I was just crying, and I was laying there sobbing and just screaming that like, don't let it last any longer. Like I don't want to live to see 2015. And it's kind of scary because at that time I didn't know how much worse it was going to get. Like it got so much worse. And I'm speaking up about this because I don't want anybody else to have to go through what I went through. There are thousands of us out there with the same stories and the same trauma and the same horror, and there shouldn't be. Those kids, we needed help. We weren't given help. We were hurt. We didn't deserve that. No matter how difficult I may have been, no matter how aggressive I may have responded, no matter what, I was a kid and I didn't deserve that. So, That's why I'm speaking out about this. It's not about me, and it's not about my specific experience. It's about all the kids who are going through this tonight and going through this right now. The kids who need somebody to speak up for them. The kids who are screaming for somebody to save them, and they think no one hears them. I don't want anybody to feel unheard or unloved, and I don't want anybody to think that the world is that evil, that the majority of the world is okay with this, that nobody will stand up for them and nobody will speak. So we're here. We're speaking out. I'll do other videos discussing the rest of my experience at Sunrise, how I was kicked out and transferred to another facility. But just reach out to the people you love, reach out to anybody you know who went through this. Stand with all the other survivors. We fight. We have no choice. The memories are always there. I'm always pushing them out. If I'm not actively pushing them out, they start creeping in and I can't make the trauma stop. I shouldn't have to spend the rest of my life recovering. And I just want to do anything I can to possibly help somebody out there. My name is Ella Bissett, and I'm breaking code silence.